Hello, everybody. It's Eric here with daytrading.com. Today's Wednesday, March 28th. Obviously 9:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or AKA New York City time. I wanted to give a quick video update regarding the Euro USD and the USD JPY, two of the main currency pairs that we trade via the live Forex trading room. You can visit the daytrading.com website for more information regarding that. Okay, but diving right in, as I mentioned, we are approaching the end of the first quarter of the 2018, and also, more importantly in Forex, basically a new monthly bar closing, and of course a reopening for April. So diving right in, wanted to bring the attention to the monthly chart, as this is the next bar closing that I'm mentioning. So unfortunately, not much to say. This is going to be pretty quick, as of right now, we came right back inside of just a weekly or a monthly range. We're remaining inside of February's bar, basically almost to basically near the 50% mark. I'm sure if I could put some fib, I can see that we're around there. Anyways, inside bar, we did make a new low on the weekly charts, but again, we still have 2 more days to paint this bar. Okay, but not really expecting much. Of course, we're going to have to wait. Let me just go down to the weekly chart, I guess, to explain more, as I guess would be the better thing to do here. Okay, so a couple things on the weekly chart. People in my room obviously understand I base all my trades, even if I'm day trades, everything has to be wrapped around higher time frame analysis, okay? And hopefully you guys are trading safe within this range, because just right off the bat, we've been making fakey highs, fakey lows on weekly bars for the past, what looks to be like 6 weeks now, right? Basically, if you include February and March, you're going on about 6 weeks. As I mentioned in the last video, January was the last kind of big breakout that we've had, and since then, first quarter, just basically almost at this point flat sideways on the weekly bar. Okay, so this thing is pretty much consolidating and coiling, I guess, as they say, and I guess the longer, right, market theory, the longer it remains in a range, the bigger the breakout. The question is, which way, right? So obviously the monthly chart's still painting an upward momentum, and this is a sideways base. So again, this is all I can really say as far as just this formation. Just trade safe within this range. I obviously, people who know me in my room, I don't really, I go with the wave. So I slapped this thing short basically all day inside of the day trading room. I'll get to that on the daily chart. But if you take the, you have to really focus your attention. If for swing traders, this is going to be pretty tough. Okay, unless you bring unless you're a range trader, you're doing okay. But again, I'm going too far into that. Obviously, we have 2 more days to paint this bar. If this is going to be we made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week high. Fake out, and actually we retested a weekly higher pair. This was in the last video, price 1.2475. Of course, my members know my weekly levels don't really change that often. As you can see, this is still being used as some type of resistance, and we're so far making a fakey kind of pin bar break. But again, I'd have to be basically having this close. Maybe we can get it pushed down, but again, that's hard to say. Basically, I'm just going to be intraday trading this back and forth for as long as it wants to. And if that's not your style, then you're going to have to change to range. But of course, that's always going to be different if it's going to, in the event of the breakout. So anyways, I'm jamming out too much. So we have January, February, March, as you can see, just stuck within this range. New daily, weekly low, daily reversal. Same thing here. We made a couple week high. In my prior video, I had potential lower, lower high for the month of March. So we were making a lower low, lower high kind of what I call sequence of events. There goes another fake out on the weekly, engulfing bar, new range, breakout. And as I even mentioned on the last video, I said you have to kind of go with that. All right, I could show you some trades, intraday where I caught that long, obviously, already going on too long in this video. But obviously, intraday market, you can still trade this, okay? I was expecting if this was to break, it was going to find some type of resistance at these weekly levels, as I mentioned, which, it kind of did, of course. And then I was mentioning we could potentially be using this as some type of support for the rally. So unfortunately, unfortunately, we can go either way with this. However, if we do kind of close the end of this week with that rejection wick, we could potentially bring us back lower, as I was mentioning, but just trade safe within this range. As where it looks like to see closing the first quarter just dead smack within this range, but still 2 more days to go inside of this. Okay, so I hold pretty tight to the 4-hour bar. Don't want to, you could, of course, visit Taylor Trader for more information on how to day trade, dropping down from higher time frames down to some intra to catch this move. I see a lot of people, take a moment to say, I see a lot of people, you know, on the social media, etc., you know, calling long and shorts, and not realizing higher time frame weekly levels. Sometimes the market can just take weeks to play out, and so in a range bound market, you have to adapt your trading to that type of condition. Okay, so just giving a little bit of free YouTube knowledge out here right now. Of course, I drop down, drill down to daily, weekly, 4-hour is what I call my mother bar time frame, and of course I have intra signals to buy the dip, sell the rally in the context of a downtrend. Okay, that's as far as I'll go with it. I actually do want to go to the UJ because they have an interesting bar setting up on the monthly as opposed to the Euro USD kind of closing out within its range. So while this chart's loading, I did expect a monthly push lower in that prior video. Okay, we did get that, what we engulfed back up. So let me mention that, going back out to the higher time frames. Obviously, today just had an enormous day in the yen, or the dollar, I should say, against the yen. But let's start out as promised on the monthly chart. Again, 2 days to close this bar. Okay, and so far, you know, I've had this. You know, monthly handle 105.50 broke down. Okay, there goes that breakdown that I'm talking about. This was a daily engulf, guys. Okay, daily engulf reversal down here on a new monthly low. Okay, so that's kind of what's fueling this break, right? Well, this retracement to the upside. Now, pay attention to this bar. Okay, because we retested the 105 handle a couple times lately this week. You can see we even broke a couple weekly highs. We're left within the past 2 months here. Okay, but we will potentially have this doji kind of close if in the event that we kind of hold some bullish pressure. So I'm going to be looking at this bar for next month, of course, April, to see if we can get some kind of monthly push higher. However, that is still a counter trend move. So that could take, and of course, that could take a month to play out. So again, it's all about multiple time frame analysis or multiple time frame conjunction with the analysis and confluence along with your smaller time frames as well. Okay, but just keep an alert and really track the monthly bar close over the next couple of days to weeks. Okay, now drilling down to the weekly bar itself. Okay, and basically what we have so far, here goes the monthly handle that I was mentioning a couple seconds ago regarding the multiple retests of this 107.5 handle on the monthly from the 105.50 handle on the monthly. Okay, so we've been monthly chopping, which is giving us all these weekly bar inside ranges. Okay, on my last video, I mentioned that I took a peek at the daily before coming here. I was expecting that downward pressure, but as you can see, we daily engulfed down here, and then so far, 2 more days to paint this bar. We are weekly engulfing, not closed yet. Okay, and like I said, we could get some potential range because we're still not of course, broken above the 105 handle. Okay, so I guess depending on your experience in trading, okay, you could potentially wait for some, if this monthly bar was to play out. So I'm kind of going a little bit ahead, but just in case I don't make another video, okay, monthly bar, okay, you maybe can get a monthly break above that doji, maybe some retest levels in the event that you're looking at that. Okay, monthly bar play out. And if we have a weekly bar close engulfing, of course, that could potentially fuel some stop outs, okay, from all these, of course, shorts that are just built up in UJ. Okay, makes sense? Going too far with that, but obviously, do not rush this. As I mentioned in my room, okay, we can get some daily bar setups maybe above these levels in the event that this kind of plays out. Okay, and the next 2 days, as I mentioned, we still have 2 more days to close this bar. We can come back in this range, and then, you know, basically everything that I'm saying will just be back into to kind of like the boring range that we've kind of you know, been trading kind of as of late February and month of March. Because if you put the March's kind of month together on the daily bar, it's just kind of been range, but it's still been holding that lower low, lower high scenario, okay? Range expected, obvious downtrend. These are the notes from the last video. Potential squeeze. So yeah, again, there we go. I mentioned that potential squeeze because I just see a lot of weekly highs built up, okay? And just thinking like a professional and a market maker, etc. You know, there's just a ton of stops and liquidity up here. So again, we may have a monthly bar potentially fueling that, but just like I mentioned, trader beware. That is not advice to buy long. I intraday trade. I am not calling a swing. Okay, I will take intraday setups, and again, visit taylortrader.com to get those setups where I take the setups live. Okay, so just take a peek at the monthly bar and potentially see a potential squeeze, just like I mentioned. But basically, these notes hold true. Okay, we could still get a monthly push lower. All right, we did have a little bit of a doji fade today off this engulfing. So yesterday, on Monday, we closed engulfing. Tuesday, we closed as a doji. Okay, and typically you're supposed to, you know, obviously if you read any book, candlestick books, you could sell short below that doji. Okay, we didn't get that trigger and we faded the whole day. And not only did we fade the whole day, we basically faded the whole week virtually in one day here, being today, Wednesday, with this bar. Okay, obviously trade safe within this range. Okay, I'll show you a little something of what I did. Here's some notes on inside bar formation, mother bar, potential engulf. So, of course, visit Taylor Day Trader to get the exact kind of setups and candlestick patterns that I look at. So UJ got a little bit away from me today, but I ended up getting long and then scaling out when this thing broke out on me here today. We broke this this level that I was looking at for today. It kind of ran out on me a little bit today, but no big deal.